Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 28. I can't believe it's been 28 days. Day 28 of Feel to Heal, 31 days of nervous system practices to support you in creating a resilient, flexible, and well-resourced nervous system. I'm Infinity, and this world that I've created, I call the School of Emotion. The things that I'm teaching you today and that I've been teaching you all month are practices that have supported me in my recovery from brain surgery 7 years ago. So all of these are things that I learned, things that I created that have supported me in being here because I didn't want to be here several times throughout my recovery. And these practices and people and a support system has been my medicine coming back to me. So for today, I'm going to talk about, great, how do you do this now? Now that you have all these practices, how do you integrate them into your life? Because it's one thing to know the things and to have, what have we done? 28 days now of different things. But now how are you going to actually start practicing them in your life? For me, there was often a gap, and especially when we're in times of heightened stress or heightened survival, think back to times where you've known something that's good for you, but then you don't do it. And I'm human, and I still get that way when I'm in times of heightened stress or pain or my nervous system's super dysregulated. It is the hardest thing to actually get ourselves to sit down and do these practices. So I'm going to go through today some things that have been supportive for me to really integrate these into my life, into my being, into how I go about how I go about operating in the world. So the first thing that helped me was finding a community of support, finding other people that were doing this as well, actually showing up in classes where other people did it, like today. So these practices we've been doing over this month, it's not only helped you stay consistent, it's helped me stay consistent because there's other people. We're doing it in a group, we're doing it together. And our nervous systems actually have an easier time. Do I want to call it easier? Yeah, an easier time staying committed, accessing new states of being, trying new things when we're in community, when we're all doing it together, because there's a little bit of accountability. There's also the part that our nervous systems, even though you're watching it on the computer, our nervous systems network together. So if I'm resourced and you're here with me on a video call or on a phone call or here in person, you can actually feel my nervous system. I might have felt very different to you yesterday on the call because I was shitty. I was in a lot of pain. I was super tired. My nervous system was dysregulated. So community, finding people to practice with. And so maybe that's here on these live calls, or I'll share, I think I'll share after the exercises about my whole virtual somatic studio. It's a monthly membership. So staying committed and curious, even if you aren't really, really consistent, you know that these things are working. You likely felt some shifts in your body, in your mind, in the way you're connecting with the world throughout these 28 days so far. So just staying committed, even if it isn't a linear trajectory, even if it's some days you're on, some days you're off. And then going slow and really listening to what feels right for your body. So I've shared a ton of different practices. Some of them you might feel like, oh, that was the ticket for me. Like that one, I really could feel it. I really could connect with it. Other ones you might have just totally dissociated, or you might have felt like, ooh, I hate this one. So really pay attention to what feels best for you. And then finding your method, finding the ones that you're like, okay, when I feel super anxious, I'm going to shake or I'm going to tap. So finding the ones that when there's certain scenarios that come up for you that are like your go-tos, and kind of making either a mental message, writing it down so that you can help yourself remember, when I feel this, then I'm going to do that. And then building your capacity, because as we start doing these practices, it builds our capacity to be with more sensation, more emotion, more energy, more of the shit that just happens in life. So building capacity is just something that happens over time. So just continuing to show up, staying committed, staying curious, integrating and incorporating as you remember, as you can. And that's why the community is a nice thing, because it's that reminder. You can hear someone else's story or what someone else did, and it might be like, oh, yeah, remembering that, we're all doing it together. And then being gentle with yourself. And then the mindset, like, this isn't a pill. This isn't you're going to do these. And at the end of these 31 days, you're going to be like, oh, I'm perfect now. I feel incredible all the time. These are forever practices. These are things to be integrated into your daily life for the rest of your life. So what I wanted to do today is just review some of the things that we've already gone over and let you guys know when I use them and why I use them. It might give you a little inspiration or idea of when you might use something. So I think that it's important to choose either morning or evening. You are going to do one, maybe two practices. And for a while, maybe you commit to just one for like every morning or one every evening. And it's easiest if you start a practice, like I think there's something called habit stacking on something you already do. So in the morning, I hope you brush your teeth. And in the evening, I hope you brush them again. So brushing teeth is a great place to stack the habit. And so picking one of the exercises to do morning or evening before or after you brush your teeth is perfect. Or before, or like doing it when you're in bed before you get up out of bed, or doing it when you're in bed before you go to sleep at night. Because remember, I think it was yesterday, we talked about regulating and resourcing your nervous system before you rest. So finding a time of day that you already do something else that will help you be consistent and stick with it. So for me, then what do I do when I'm out and about in the world on the go? Like I'm driving, I'm at the grocery store, I'm out in the world. So when I'm driving, if I'm feeling, I usually feel my nervous system is dysregulated. My muscles get really tight here. My thoughts get really like all over the place and like fear, kind of survival like thoughts, like, what am I going to do? And, that grasping for safety. And so if I notice that when I'm driving or when I'm like walking out about in the world, I will do the ears. So if I'm driving, I'll have one hand, do it carefully, one hand on the wheel, focusing on the road, but then the other one pulling down on our ears. So if you want to just practice with me today, you can take both hands, pull down on the ears, open the jaw. Maybe a yawn comes. Maybe you try and bring a yawn. So if I'm driving, I'm just doing one ear and then pulling out on the ears. So you can bring the ears out laterally now. Open and closing your jaw, maybe bringing a yawn. So ears are one of my favorite ones to do when I'm like out and about driving on the move. If I'm sitting at my computer or at my desk and I notice that I'm like tense, that my mind is, racing, I'll come to the ears. So if you're driving and you're busy, just do one. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, bringing the yawn in. And then for me, this muscle, the sternocleidomastoid, gets really tense. So I'll do self-massage. This is another one I can do while I'm driving, just one-handed. You can do this in line at the grocery store. You can do this while you're waiting to pick up your kid. Just massaging the muscles here on your neck. You could massage behind the ear and this soft spot right here between the jawbone and the back of the head. Remembering to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And what I've noticed lately too is like I rarely am just standing still anymore. Now my body just knows if I'm standing somewhere, whether it's if I'm standing and working or if I'm standing in line somewhere, if I'm standing anywhere, my body is just naturally swaying. I don't know if we did swaying yet, but swaying, we've done rocking, but swaying like this in line Anywhere you are, just bringing your weight from one foot to the other is really, really great for the nervous system. So now wherever I go, whenever I'm standing, my body gets me in this swing. A natural rocking movement helps the body come out of the stressed state into a rested state. So just swaying. Stretches. We've done these another day, so just bring your head to one side, ear to shoulder. These are simple and can be done anywhere, out in public, sitting, waiting, maybe for an appointment or something. So ear to shoulder, making sure you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. If your mind's really racing, bring your attention and focus to where your body is touching a surface, maybe your feet touching the ground, maybe your bottom touching the seat. Just ear to shoulder. Remembering to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we're just going to move on, but you can go side to side, you can go up and down. And the more you practice these, the more you practice them on your own, the more you practice them here on these recordings with me, the more you practice them in community. If you join my membership, they're going to become like second nature. You're just going to remember, just like I said, like the swaying is just something that my body does now. You can sway, and I don't know if you guys remember the butterfly tap. So why don't we cross your arms over your chest? And we're going to just tap from one side to the other side at a rhythm that feels supportive for you as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. This is a great one if you're feeling like anxious energy, like you got to do more, like you got to move faster. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to kind of race through them today just so I can share with you guys what I use. And then another really important one is when you feel an emotion arise in your body, when you feel maybe it's tears or maybe it's anger, that you don't try and shove it down, that you don't try and stuff it down, that you take a moment either with your hands on your body to recognize it, to be with it, to see if something wants to flow out. Maybe it's tears. Then with anger, like I think I shared the other day, I was super frustrated and super like feeling all this anger energy in my body. And I let myself slam the door and I let myself go into my car and grab the steering wheel and just, instead of trying to suppress that energy, that emotion, I just let it release. When we suppress it, it gets stuck and stored in the body. So just noticing when emotions arrive, seeing if you can relate to them differently, seeing if you can find time, space, stop what you're doing and allow them to come out. The biggest thing in changing all of this, the biggest thing in integrating these into your life is actually stopping what you have done before and doing something different. So even if you just stopped, that would change the pattern. So even if historically, let's say you're really triggered by something and you feel a lot of anxious energy in your body and it's like, oh my God, it's too much. I just can't, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. And maybe sometimes these are called anxiety attacks for some people, but it's just too much in your body. And if in that moment you can stop yourself and just say, stop, bring my hands to my body, offer containment for the energy, and just breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Focusing on your breath. Focusing on your hands touching your body. Focusing on the movement of your chest as you rise, as it rises and falls with your breath. Letting yourself know, I am here. I am listening. I've got you. So instead of the energy needing to get out and get louder, stopping, even if you don't add the ears or one of the other things, just stopping and taking a conscious breath in through the nose and out through the mouth will shift things. And stopping is like when you realize that you're actually stopping something that you would have habitually done, whether it's a pattern or a thought or, where you go energetically in your mind, it is is the game changer. And then you'll realize the next time that thing comes up, oh, I have another choice here. I can do something differently here. So there's lots of other things. I have so much more to share, but we are at our time for the day. If you are enjoying these practices, if you think I'm super funny, or you just like the way that I teach, one of like my biggest thing is making it relatable, being authentic, being fucking real, and being human. If you want to learn more of these practices, I have a monthly membership. It's $33 a month. It's called Whole. It's a virtual somatic studio where I practice with you live twice a week. And then monthly, there is a Q&A with me. So you can ask questions, you can share things that have come up for you, and I can provide feedback. And then there's a bunch of these nervous system practices recorded in there and somatic. Interested in working with me more and continuing your practice and your personal healing journey, I would love to continue supporting you. Otherwise, thank you so much for showing up on these YouTubes. I will be here for several more days of this month. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.